Alright, so we back. This time, just kind of want to get more into the, what's going on with John Jones, you know? The way heavyweight has been stalling, and on top of all that, we have a high potential, dominant prospect that just came through, worked their way to the top, all the way to the point where, honestly, at this point, we have an interim champ who's defended the belt. And that person being Tom Aspinall, who did his due diligence, stuck his claim in the heavyweight division, finished who he had to finish, went through, even ran into the scariest guy at the time, which was Sergey Pavlovich. And honestly, in defeating Sergey Pavlovich, made an iconic moment in Madison Square Garden. So now we have him. He avenged his loss to Curtis Blades. He still has not really been into a point where he's finished anybody in less than about, 3 minutes? I think he has 3 minutes of after fight time or under that. So now we have all that being said, and that leads to this. We have a champion, John Jones, who at the time when he came up, said he needed time to bulk, went through, took like 2 years. And then we had Ciryl Gane, who came through, and at that point in time was everybody's mind the hottest thing at heavyweight and looked to be the heir apparent to the throne, honestly. And he ran into Ngannou, and he was winning some exchanges, but Ngannou brought out the wrestling and led to a decision where, you know, people felt how they felt, but that was a whole bargaining chip thing, and Ngannou leaves. So cool. That is what it is. But the point being, people believe Ciryl Gane was the one. And John comes up, sees that he has to fight him. Honestly, made it look easy, like this, where we're going to hit stack guard and finish our opponent. Just made it look easy. And honestly, that's kind of John's problem. Makes everything look easy. But we'll be back in the next fight.
You ready to fight? Ready? Let's do it.
Speaking of John making things look easy, Rampage Jackson. In John's career, he clearly walked through a lot of people. He had times where he got lazy and didn't want to just train his hardest, and sometimes that led to close fights. Sometimes that led to fights that he won very easily, such as like the OSP fight. Very underwhelming, but at the end of the day, John did what he had to do, won the fight. And then other times when he didn't train and wasn't motivated, he gave us a get it out the mud fight, which was more like a Gustafsson. And when you ran into Gustafsson, it made him look human, because at that point in time, John had been crushing the division. So everybody knows John is one of the greatest of all time. So at this point, it's just, well, who does he have to beat? He beat somebody. Basically what's happened is someone runs through the rankings. They look like the one. John goes, I've seen this before. They're not that guy, pal. And they get into the fight. John may struggle for a round because he doesn't like to throw and he likes to start slow, and he works off his kicks, and that leads to him switching to southpaw to set up his kicks, but while he's not working off his kicks, he's working off his jab and all that stuff. That's how the fight goes. And then eventually he wins. And he either wins by a unanimous decision, or he wins a controversial decision, or the other option, which happens sometimes, he would finish people. But most of the time, when John was doing these things, when he really gets motivated, he tries to beat people at what they do best. So when he fought Glover, everybody was talking about his boxing and his clinch work. So John beat the hell out of him with boxing and clinch work, and especially the clinch work. That's a nasty fight. If you've never seen it, seek it out. He did Glover real nasty. When they talked about Lyoto Machida, I got just cracked with a Rampage head kick. Crazy times. But when he fought Lyoto Machida, everybody talked about the kickboxing and the blitzing. You know, life is crazy. He shut that down, subbed the guy. So with Aspinall, it's an interesting thing. John just wants to get paid, and I can't blame him for that. But as we're going to jump to Gilly. Shout out Dustin Poirier. And the fight is over, by the way.
Hey, stop.
Jump to Gilly. Always jump to Gilly. Hold on, we'll go into the next fight.
You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
So like I was saying, John makes tough every time he's motivated. Like he when there's someone like crazy, he gets motivated and he tends to just make the fights that everybody deems tough, he makes them look very easy. And then the problem is when he does make it look easy, people discredit the opponent like they were never that good or that they were unproven, and all the hype that happened, it doesn't matter. He's got to beat somebody else now. And now we're at the point where John's career is basically over. And personally, I don't even think John has to fight anybody else. But like I don't think it changed anything. But now that the idea has been like put in everybody's mind, the seed has been planted, and Jones Aspinall seems like it's gonna be a thing. Now you're kind of forced into like the fact that John has to fight Tom Aspinall. And with that being said, even if John loses, it wouldn't, like John losing at 30, what would he be now, like 38 years old? John losing at 38 years old finally will probably make a lot of people happy, because a lot of people don't like him because of, you know, outside of the Octagon stuff. Some people don't like him because he popped for PEDs. Damn near every great, I think, in UFC history has popped for PEDs, except for, I think, George St. Pierre. So I don't even care about that at that point, because most of these fighters are doing something, in my opinion. But even your favorites, by the way. But the point being, if he loses now at 38 years old, it's going to satisfy a lot of people's, kind of like the Mayweather thing, where people pay to watch this man lose. And the problem with John is he never has. Yes, he has a DQ, but if you watch the fight, he just beat the hell out the guy and got DQ'd because his last elbow that like finished the blind, deaf, paraplegic guy, he finished him. But hey, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, nobody's satisfied with that because they haven't seen John go unconscious. They haven't seen him get like brutalized for 5 rounds. And yeah, the Dominic Reyes thing, you know, that's a split decision. But even then, that almost satisfied people. But I feel like the whole thing is people want to see John Jones get beat up. And Tom Aspinall at heavyweight, with his speed and agility and power, he has all the tools to do it. And it's just like, at this point, what do you do? Because I want to see the fight. You want to see the fight. Everybody wants to see the fight. So I don't even know. At this point, we just got 2 great guys that rightfully so are seen as the top heavyweights, ready to fight, and no fight is announced. They're talking about summer, but hey, who knows, you know?
Stop. You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
You're okay, good. Let's take this.
So yeah, I think Tom can do it. I don't really care who wins. I really like John. But that doesn't negate the fact that I love the sport more. Like, no one's bigger than the sport. Conor at one point got real close. He was, in my opinion, actually arguably bigger than the sport, because people didn't watch the UFC, but they knew who Conor McGregor was. But yeah, man, John Jones is just a polarizing figure. And honestly, he can do whatever he wants. Honestly, he should have retired. He should have just beat Stipe and retired. But Dana is there, as I get clipped. Dana is there, you know, trying to throw bags of money. And John said, well, I want 30 M's. And Dana don't like paying people money. Dana don't even like paying Contender Series guys $20,000. You think he wants to give John Jones 30 M's? But if he fights Aspinall, it will generate more than that, so it puts you in like a bind. And next thing you know, where we're at now, where we got people saying he's ducking, we got people saying he don't want none of Aspinall. I don't think he's scared to fight Tom Aspinall. I just think John Jones, honestly, is a prize fighter, and he realizes his worth. He knows his standing. He knows he's viewed as the GOAT of the sport, so he's trying to leverage that into one final big payday. So if you call that ducking, hey, but all these guys are going out getting kicked in the head and borderline CTE, elbows, knees, training camps that go on for months and we don't even see. Minor injuries we don't even see. A lot of damage goes on their body. So I mean, if you want to get paid for it, go get paid for it. But yeah, all the shenanigans and the subtweets and all that, yeah, I don't care. That's still kind of corny. I'm not with it. But hey, at the end of the day, it's just two men that want to get paid to fight. Tom has way more years ahead of him. Jones is at the end of the line, and he wants to get paid for it. So here we are. And honestly, nothing wrong with that. But that's where we're at. This Derek Lewis should not be doing these things to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm making John look average. With that being said, we're just gonna work our jab and try to get to like a stat guard. We're gonna block counter. We're gonna hold both the bumpers. We're gonna stat guard and we're gonna get him out of here. That being said, back to John Jones. John Jones, in my opinion, greatest of all time. Really just an elite talent, has his troubles. I thought Gon was going to give him a problem. He made that man look easy. He made almost everybody at light heavyweight look easy except for a few. He keeps, every time it seems like I get to the point of doubting John Jones, he shows he's the greatest ever. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and just tap in for the next one. More videos coming this week. And shout out for the fight night coming up. So hey, keep your eyes out for more videos.
Declaring the winner by knockout, John Boy!